Can I ask you a question? Are you ready for another Taylor Swift song breakdown? This time for track 7 off of Midnight's, the song Question. So with my song breakdowns, especially with the album Midnight's, I like to look at the lyrical parallels of Taylor's previous songs, bodies of work, and that way kind of gives you this context and interpretation of an experience that she may have been going through, as Midnights are the sleepless nights throughout her career. I also like to look at the styles of the song and potentially the muses of the song and how it kind of all fits together to try to just break down that analysis and just to make it fun to kind of learn more about Taylor throughout her years. I originally made this on TikTok. If you like these little shorter clips, definitely check that out there. But then I also really like to start off just like writing everything down. It just unloading everything in the labyrinth of my brain just makes things easier for me to understand. And I'm just gonna walk you through that all. And we're just gonna follow that invisible string to try to get us to understanding the song. All right, so first we're gonna come in hot with something a little controversial, but let's just walk through it and we're just gonna be totally respectful here. Okay, so the style of this song. The style of the song is very reminiscent of the song How You Get the Girl off of Taylor's 1989 album, and here is why. First heard Question, there were a lot of questions, I guess, about just kind of the narration of the song, right? In the song, Taylor is asking a question, and so when you ask a question to someone, it's a very disarming way, right? Instead of accusing someone or coming at them, you're just simply asking a question, right? And there are some things and experiences in this song that definitely cause a sleepless night or two, not only for Taylor, but maybe for this other person who she's having this conversation with. But there's some interpretation as to how the song is narrated, okay? And similar to How You Get the Girl. So let's just look at the song How You Get the Girl. Stand there like a ghost shaking from the rain. She opens up the door and asks, are you insane? So this whole like third person conversation, you could be interpreted as this is Taylor giving the instruction as to how to get a girl, how to get her, how to win her back. But then there's also kind of a flip side to it where it could potentially be the way that Taylor got the girl, that potentially Taylor was the person standing in the hallway, shaking like a ghost from the rain, and she said, I want you forever and ever. Again, I know by doing this kind of questions Taylor's sexuality in this. We have no confirmation on that, but it just begs the question and the artistic interpretation of the song. So let's go back to Question. So in Question, it could be a narration of Taylor telling a story, right? Of, did you ever have someone kiss you in a crowded room? It could be her. It could be the person. She could be the person who kissed someone in a crowded room. She could be the person who left her in the middle of the night. It could be that. It could be that Taylor is asking a question of a friend and that person, or a boyfriend of a friend. I know right now there's a lot of drama with the Selena and Hailey and Justin Bieber drama, and a lot of people are speculating that this song potentially is Taylor asking Justin Bieber about leaving Selena Gomez's house in the middle of the night. So it could be Taylor is the narrator, but she's not talking about herself. She's asking a question of another person's relationship. Lastly, it could be an interpretation that she is asking someone who did this to her. She's asking someone who, left her in the middle of the night, who didn't put up a fight, etc. So there's a couple different ways to look at the style of the song, but like I said, just stylistically, it's very reminiscent of How You Get the Girl and kind of questioning of, is Taylor the receiving end, or is she causing the strife in the relationship, or did that happen to her? I think like you just kind of don't know, right? The next thing that we're going to look at is pretty boring, but it has to do with punctuation. So in the song Question, the title of the song is question ... question mark, right? And this is not something that is new to Taylor. This is something that she's actually done before, and we see this in Reputation. So in Reputation, there are 2 songs, Ready for It and So It Goes, that both uses these ellipses. Ellipses? Ellipses. ellipses. So that is the ... And those represent kind of like a lingering thought, or kind of finishing the thought without having words be said. But it's definitely up for interpretation because we don't specifically know what is in Taylor's mind. But let's look at the connections between the Reputation songs Ready For It and So It Goes. Starting with the song Ready For It, Taylor says, every lover by comparison is a failure, which kind of ties back to In Question of, does it feel like everything is second best, right? Second best, failure, like this seismic event that happened between us or between these two people, was really impactful, and everything else kind of just fades away. However, So It Goes definitely has a lot more lyrical parallels and experiences, so let's get into that. First thing is, in So It Goes, we talk about all eyes on us, so which is very similar to being in a crowded room and then your friends making fun of you, right? So it's like all these people are there and then they see something that happens, and it's very similar to All Eyes on Us. Next you have I'm Not a Bad Girl, but I Do Bad Things with You, and which ties back to In Question, Good Girl, Sad Boy. And then lastly, in So It Goes, you have Make Your Gray Days Clear, and then that ties back to In Question of Got Swept Up in the Gray, okay? So a couple of similarities in So It Goes, so I definitely think that those two songs have like a strong connection. Just one little honorable mention, the only other time that Taylor includes a punctuation mark is for the song Me off of Lover, which is an exclamation point. It's like, now we're gonna move on to one of the most obvious connections of the song, which is the I Remember intro of the song, which ties back to the song Out of the Woods from 1989. My personal favorites. It is just an absolute masterpiece, okay? But that song, I mean, lyrically, there's not a lot of lyrics that tie back to this song, except they talk about color and screaming color, and the color I've searched for in Question. But what the connection that does happen is that in Out of the Woods, this song is a very anxiety-ridden song, okay? It's Taylor in an anxious relationship where she doesn't know what's gonna happen next. She's questioning herself. She's questioning, her love interest. Are we out of the woods? Are we out of the woods? Are we in the clear? Are we, and you're just kind of constantly asking these questions of like, is this relationship worth it? Are we good? Are we okay? And again, as Midnight songs are reflections and kind of looking back in hindsight, in like a wildest dreams, purview, that now she's in a better place where she's calmer and she can simply just ask questions. She doesn't have that anxiety in this song. There's not that like anxious level of just like the beats going fast, and the repetitiveness. So that's how these two songs connect. So definitely it could be that the person who was causing her so much anxiety, causing her so much pain, or maybe even the person who caused someone else pain or anxiety, maybe that now she wants to go back and just simply ask them a question, like what happened there. But then we also have the Out of the Woods music video that I always like to dissect, like the music videos, because I definitely think that they kind of tell a story as to what was going on with Taylor. In the Out of the Woods music video, you have this beautiful, beautiful like scenes of Taylor just battling the elements. It was filmed in New Zealand. So the music video starts with, you see on the screen, like she lost him, okay? And she's staring out into the water. And then she fights going through, trees and roots that are going in. She goes through a literal forest. She is being chased by wolves. She kind of has this Elsa moment of coming in the snow, and she is drowning. At the end of the music video, you see Taylor and the screen pops up to say, she lost him, but she found herself, and somehow that was everything. Definitely get these like Taylor being hunted, being trapped, not knowing what to come next. You also, just connecting it to Midnights, you have these elements of snow on the beach. I mean, I'll pop up like a little screen, but she falls down and there's snow, and she is wearing that blue dress that we also see in the Look What You Made Me Do video where Taylor is dead, but then we also see it in another video post Reputation, and we'll get into that in a little bit. So also in the song Question, you have the lyric of, does everything feel like second best after that meteor strike, right? You have this like natural cataclysmic event, which some people, I've definitely seen some theories on that because of the whole Selena Justin thing. People think that the meteor is like Hailey and Hailey's comet, but I'll let you interpret that for yourself. But anyway, that compared to all of the elements that she's facing in the Out of the Woods music video, it's almost like there's a before and after, right? There's the questioning and then going through the hard things or going through something huge that happens and then coming out the other end of it in a better place. So I love that connection and I love Out of the Woods, but we're gonna stick on 1989 and find some similar parallels as well. Two more songs that I believe Question is tied to from 1989. The first is Welcome to New York, okay? So I think this is lyrically a pretty obvious one because in Welcome to New York, it's about being in a city, right? And so in the song Question, you have good girl, sad boy, big city, wrong choices, okay? So a big city could be interpreted as New York City, but then also in Welcome to New York, you have the lyrics of Welcome to New York, it's been waiting for you, and you can want who you want, boys and boys and girls and girls. Again, this is one of Taylor's first kind of acknowledgement or mention of anything other than a heterosexual relationship. She's not particularly saying that she can want who she wants, but again, going back to that narrative of how you get the girl, maybe it does. The next song I want to talk about is the song Style, okay? So yes, Harry Styles and Taylor Swift were a couple. They were seen dating. Out of the Woods, as I mentioned, a lot of people, when that song first came out, attributed that to Harry Styles because during the bridge of remember when you hit the brakes too soon, 20 stitches in the hospital room, and then Harry Styles got stitches because there was a snowmobile accident while they were on a ski trip. So a lot of people put Harry Styles for Out of the Woods, but then a lot of people also put Harry Styles for as the muse in the song Style because his last name, obviously. Let's get into Style and how it connects to Midnights. In the song Question, you have during that whole bridge part where she's asking questions, and she says, and what's that I heard that you're still with her? That's right. You know, that's suitable. But tonight, basically implying that you may be with somebody else. That's probably a good choice for you. But tonight, we're probably going to hook up, go home, do whatever, right? Which is very similar to the song Style, right? Like watches go around and around each time. And then it's also, you know, I've heard you've been out and about with some other girls, right? It's kind of questioning. It's like we go back and forth with each other. You're with somebody else. I'm with you, but you're still kind of coming back and being drawn to me. So definitely those parallels. We're going to move off of 1989 and we're going to go back to Reputation. So I talked about So It Goes. I talked about Ready for It, but I also want to talk about the song Delicate. Two people are hooking up. It's Taylor. They're on the third floor, West Side, you know, long night with your hands in my hair. But then he goes, echoes of your footsteps down the stairs. Stay here, honey. I don't want to share. Be sharing that person who's leaving in the middle of the night. And that kind of, so all those songs just kind of go back to hooking up, leaving in the middle of the night, and kind of somebody being with somebody else. The final song that I want to talk about from Reputation is Dancing with Our Hands Tied. Have the lyrics, kiss you as the lights went out, swaying as the room burned down, right? I held you as the water rushes in. I mean, I love Reputation so much. Have, again, that parallel of questioning yourself, going through something, and then coming out the other end, right? And in the song Dancing with Our Hands Tied, you know, you have the kiss you as the lights went out, held you as the room burned down. Again, back to Style and the flames, and but then also that meteor strike, and can we dance through an avalanche, right? It's just like, can we make it through these trying tribulations, like events that just come at us that are bigger than ourselves, right? So we're gonna wrap it up with Lover, and then yes, just soak in this amazing, amazing song. So in Lover, we talked about the similarities of just me and the punctuation, right? And then I brought up in Out of the Woods the dress that she wore, which is the same dress that she wore when she was coming out of the grave in the Look What You Made Me Do music video. But the dress is very, very similar to the Me music video. Okay, she's wearing this light blue gauzy dress. And I took this snapshot and it's kind of crazy because at the end scene where she is wearing this dress and all the rainbows come, you have Brendan Urie in the background and he is painting the sky. And it's kind of a little bit reminiscent of in the song Midnights of "You painted all my nights, a color I've searched for since." And even in one, it kind of, if you take a screenshot of it, it's like an aurora borealis, which is kind of goes back to snow on the beach. Then I'm gonna wrap it up with one more thing from Lover, which is Cornelia Street. Again, another huge favorite of mine. But in that song, she says, "We were in the backseat, drunk on something stronger than the drinks in the bar." Again, Cornelia Street, New York City, big city. But then also in Midnights, she says, you know, because we were on something, it was one drink after another. So definitely have that little. I hope you enjoyed this little breakdown of the lyrics. So many great songs from 1989, Reputation and Lover, that tie back to this song. I definitely hope that Taylor plays this at the ERAS tour where, you know, kind of Out of the Woods is kind of mashed up into this. And I don't know, maybe one day we'll get the whole picture of who this person is. Is this a muse in Taylor's life? Is this a relationship that she had? Is this observing her friends going through bad relationships and that kept her up at night? But definitely a beautiful, awesome song. I love track 7. If there's any commentary I missed, please let me know down in the comments. And I have a song that I think I'm going to do next, but if there is definitely a song breakdown that you want to see next, put those in the comments. And if you like these videos, hit subscribe and let's break these songs down together. I am about to go to a workout. I got my pup here, and thanks for stopping by, friends.